You're listening to Stories to Create with your host, Cornell Bunting. Author, motivational speaker, and founder of ES Each Episode. Cornell sits down with inspiring voices to uncover the stories that shape who we are and who we're becoming. Get ready to listen, learn, and be inspired. The show starts now.
Yes, Cornell Bunting here. Welcome to another episode of Stories to Create podcast right here at ES Club. I'm so excited because, I have a self-made, I'm not going to say the rest. Listen, she's doing so much big things right now, people. I'm so proud of her. I'm excited about her, not just because she's from the island where I'm from, but, she's kicking down doors, man, and she's taking names. She's doing the thing so big. It's only right, people, that we bring Deanie to the stage. Awesome. Welcome to the show.
Good morning. Thanks for having me.
This is so good to finally have you in the space because you're such a busy woman.
Oh, thank you. Just so you know, I gave up a trip to Washington today to be here with you.
He did, people.
Yes, DNP of colors going on today in Washington.
Listen, I really appreciate you doing that for me, and I am so grateful. So, without even further ado and all this, we're going to dive in, and we're going to let our listeners get to learn a little bit about you.
Okay.
So, before the entrepreneur, the premier, and all this beautiful thing you're doing in the medical world, what was the upbringing? Where did it start? Where did Deanie start?
So, I grew up in a single-parent household.
Okay.
Dad left when we were much smaller.
Okay.
Mom was housekeeping and basically bartending.
Wow.
And I went to Michael practicing all-age school with Wilmot and Mr. Peart, and struggled in school. I considered myself that time as a smart girl, but as I advance and matriculate, the courses get a little bit harder.
Okay.
And when I came home, there was no help. So life became challenging, and I kind of gave up on school.
What?
Yeah.
How? Why?
Because when I came home, there was no help.
Okay.
There was no help. The fourth grade, fifth grade, sixth grade become challenging, and we had our little, in Jamaica, we had our little posse or little clique.
Yeah, little clique.
Yeah, so
yeah.
we were always jealous of the Woolmer's girls.
Okay.
Throw a little ice over at them. So with parents-teachers meeting, the parents would complain that I was the rotten apple amongst the group.
Oh, you were the rebel.
Yes. Yes,
So let me ask you though, because in school, was you in academics or was you doing like the drawing stuff or? So
I could draw. Funny you asked that. I could draw. Every time I drew, someone think I didn't do that. But I was good at English and office procedure and principle of business. I hate math, so I hate accounting. Flunk maths.
What?
So, in 7th grade, I get like 0% and then 5%. And the next time, the next time you know it, I was out under the trees at Michael, the big tree by the play field. Yeah. Just beating the desk with boys and rapping and having concerts,
Ooh, dropping bars, huh?
Dropping bars. Spitting my tunes and just doing what,
So let me ask you, because at this point, mom is single. Mom is not really helping much with school stuff.
No, because mom dropped out at 9th grade to go break stones because her mother had 8 children and she was like the black sheep of the family. Okay. So she didn't have the education to help me. Right. And so it was, and she was never home because she had to go to work and she would go early and come home late at night when the bar on Beeston Street would close. Yeah. And so for me, it was like, we didn't have any supervision,
Wow.
So
you was unruly.
That's an understatement. Yeah, that's an understatement.
A lot of friends.
A lot of friends. I've been buying racehorse when I was 13.
What?
Playing Peter Pan, bingo, beat everybody's lunch money. Always had a jack and a six stuck up my sleeve.
Ooh.
In the dead of summer, I'd have on long sleeve because this is how I'm gonna.
That's how you're gonna win.
That's how I'm gonna win.
Oh my goodness!
So if you're my classmate back then and I won your money, sorry.
Get in the bag. Mm-hmm. You was about getting the bag.
I was a hustler.
Did you ever at a time back then, like in school, and maybe some would say teenage crisis? Did you ever find yourself wanting to have a conversation with mom?
No, because mom wasn't that kind of mom.
Oh.
Mom wouldn't even. I don't even. Now she knows how to articulate and she apologizes and stuff. When we got older and we all sat down to talk about it.
Right.
Because I'm trying to, I got pregnant at 16.
Wow.
So I dropped out of high school. Mm-hmm. And by the way, I got into high school with technical entrance and with my uncle being the bursar at Stats.
Yeah.
And did good in my first year at Stats, and then in the end of the second year, I got pregnant, and then I came home trying to hit the tummy, and finally it came out. After you eat and vomit a couple of times, there's no more time you could hide the tummy.
You can't hide it no more. Yeah.
And so I went to a place called Women's Center, which one day I'm hoping to give back to that center because I think that Women's Center across from, I think it was. I don't remember where, but it's somewhere off Hope Road. Yes, the Women's Center. I went there. To this day, I don't like turkey neck because that's what we got for lunch almost every day.
Turkey neck.
Oh, my goodness. I remember being pregnant. My mom didn't spoke to me from the time she found out, I think I was 4 or 5 months pregnant. Mm-hmm. And she never spoke to me until the day I was going to have my daughter.
Wow.
And so I knew I didn't want any more children. Mm-hmm. I knew that was a horrible experience. I had her at Jubilee. The nurses the experience was horrible. It wasn't a good one.
Yeah.
And so based on the experience of having her, I literally 6 weeks walked from Vineyard Town to Spanish Town Road to put an IUD inside of me.
No.
Yes.
What?
Yes. And so
stick a pin for a minute, just so you guys know. This is not no little bit of walking.
No.
This is miles.
No. Yes.
This is miles. Yes. If I was to guess, I'm saying somewhere around 5 to 6 miles.
No. It's way more than that.
You know what? You're right.
It's way more than that.
Yeah.
That time, that's where the old passport office used to be. We're talking 1992, and the health clinic was like in a little trailer, and they were asking for consent.
You had no one to get.
Yeah, so I put in what was called a copperty at the time because I knew my ex was asking for like 6 and 12 kids, and I'm like 17 years old, and I'm like hit to the no in my head.
Yeah.
After that trauma that I just been through with just my mother not speaking to me was the worst thing during that pregnancy.
Yeah.
And then by the time I was 17, she you're a woman now, you gotta go. And I went out. I had 2 stalls at the clock tower in Alpha Tree.
You did?
I did. I went to the nail shop, nail school at the Face Place, had my own nail shop, and, just life.
Yeah.
I did everything that life had to offer. I worked my tails off to get. And then finally I went to the after 2 or 3 attempts at the U.S. Embassy, they finally gave me the visa.
Yeah.
I came to America. Yes.
What did they give you, a 10-year visa?
Yes. A 10-year visa.
So I gotta ask, because a lot of individuals don't understand how rough it is to try to even have a stall in Kingston. What was that even like for you on a daily basis to get out there? I know you're going to make some money today. So
I used to do it on the weekends only because that's the only time they would allow you to have those stalls right in that Clock Tower Plaza.
Okay.
And then at the time I worked for a little I did so much things. I was an audit clerk working for J.G. Smith, Jack Smith, the politician. I did. Oh my God, I did so much, you know?
Wow.
Listen, to feed myself back then before I got hired after my mom picked me up.
Right.
Cornell, I would pick up bottles off the street and wrap them in newspaper.
Right.
So they wouldn't make any noise.
Oh, man.
And so at the end of the day, I would sell the bottles so I could feed, so we could eat.
Yeah. Wow.
Meaning me and my ex-husband would eat. Yeah. That's how we ate.
Mm-hmm. Wow.
And so when you talk about life challenges, I've been through all of it.
Oh, definitely.
I've definitely, but you know what? It set the tone for who I've become. It built character, it built resilience. It makes me know that nothing is handed to you in life.
Yeah.
Everything you have to work for.
Right.
And subsequently, when I came here, and growing up as a child, I wanted to be an attorney, but of course, with life challenges and all the other stuff, that never happened. I've always wanted to go to Edna Manley Law School, but that didn't happen. And so when I got here,
now what year did you get here?
96, 97, okay. One of those years. Okay. Yeah. Wow. I was going and coming, working, going back home, blah, 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 doing all the stuff that we normally do. And one year I decided, okay, this is it.
This is it.
Yeah, I can't do this. I need to make a foundation and have some stability.
Yeah.
And so I went back to school and got my GED.
Okay.
Yes. So I went back to school, got my GED, and from my GED, I went on and have my AA, my associate in art, then my associate in nursing, then my bachelor's in nursing, then my master's in nursing, and then my doctorate.
Whoa, you got to stick a pin because you just hit them with the nursing. At what point, like from when you were here and you were doing what you were doing, at what point you're like, okay, I need to transition into possibly the medical work?
Stay with us. We'll be right back.
Every young person carries a story of hope, of struggle, of dreams waiting to rise. But in too many underserved communities, those stories go unheard.
At ease, Inc. everyone has a story. We believe every voice deserves a chance through mentorship, empowering programs, and storytelling workshops. We help you discover their purpose, strengthen their mindset, and build a future they can be proud of.
From classrooms in Jamaica to communities across Southwest Florida,
ES is changing lives,
one story at a time.
But we can't do it alone. Join us, become a mentor, volunteer, donate, help us fuel the next generation of leaders, creators, and change makers.
Visit ahas.org today, because when you help a young person share their story, you help them change their world.
Okay, so I had friends who were selling real estate.
Yeah.
And I said, maybe I wanted to do that. And then I said, no. When I looked around, I did a little bit of house cleaning because, you know, when you're undocumented, you lay low for a minute and then basically I did a little bit of housekeeping. And one thing with my mama, we knew how to clean. She gets us up at 5:00 and you better clean the house before you walk from Finneartown to Crossroads.
Yeah.
And so when I got here, I knew I wanted a better way of life.
Right.
And medical was never on my mind at no time. But when I looked around me, all the nurses that I knew, they drive Mercedes, they drove Bentley,
big cars.
They drove the nice car, they had beautiful homes, and whoa, wait a minute, I can do this. I can do this. No, so I didn't have a grandma that was sick that I took care of, or I had a loved one that's sick that I took care of that maybe wanted to go in. No, I grew up poor and hungry, and I want a better way of life.
Right.
And so I went into the profession wanting to succeed, like the people that I was seeing.
Right.
Like when I go to take care of someone in their home, and I would go to the nursing home and see all these nurses, or I had friends who had friends that were nurses. And when we went to their house, they got some things. Their stuff was together. Yeah. So I decided I want to be like these females who are doing big things. And so I worked my tail off. I'd go to tutoring for math. I told you I struggle in math. So I'd go to tutoring for math I do 150 math a day until I get it right.
Wow.
Yeah. Wow. So I put in my fair share of work.
I like that. So you went in, you did your degree. So you have a bachelor in nursing, and you went up to master. Wow.
And a doctorate.
And a doctorate now. So with that, like, is there any time, like when you were at like the different hospitals or whatever you work, is there ever a time where you've seen something and you're like, this is really where I need to be?
Oh, absolutely. So like I told you, I got into it because I wanted to have the nicer things in life.
Yeah.
But as I achieved the nice cars, the big house, I have more than one house, and life was good, I felt like I was missing something.
Right.
I felt a piece of me was just, okay, I have this.
Yeah.
It didn't feel like how I thought it would feel. I felt like there was something missing, right? So I got the things, the material things, right?
Yeah.
And I considered myself successful. I had I turned one of my homes into a nursing home. I was now a nurse practitioner, and I've been through the tragedy of having friends that whatever happened.
You broke off from them. You grew up. You outgrew them.
No, things happen.
Yeah.
People, I had friends who lied.
Okay.
Who lied on me and break the relationship. I lost my best friend who meant the world to me, and without even giving me an opportunity to show her that I didn't do it, and I felt.
Yeah.
I was hurt. I was hurt for a long time.
Yeah.
But in the midst of all of that, I felt like I was, despite having it all, I feel like I didn't have anything.
Right.
By this time, I've had 2 more sons.
Wow.
I've had 2 more children.
Right.
By the time I was 30, I had my son Josh, and by the time I was 40, I had my last child.
Oh my
So
goodness.
I have 3 wonderful children.
Yeah.
So, with that being said, during my time I was working as a critical care nurse in the ICU. And after a while working as a critical care nurse, you become so good at it that it's an application.
It gets so easy,
It becomes easy, and there was no more there's no challenge for me anymore.
Right.
And so I wanted to do something. I find myself that making a difference in the life of people who were losing their loved ones, right? As I probably as a doctor come and pronounce someone,
Right. Yeah.
And the family would come, and I find me giving them comfort. And I'd get so many cards. I won the Daisy Award. I won an iPad for being who I was. So now I'm drawn to love the profession, and I feel like there was more I could do.
You got care.
Right. Yeah. Yes. There was more that I could do, and so. Being a critical care nurse, I went back to do my nurse practitioner, and I wrote about a mobile clinic. I wrote about the mobile clinic in school because it was, if I can create it in my head, I can write about it, and it'll become easy.
Yes.
And so when I wrote about that mobile clinic in school, as I write about it, it became like it felt like a reality.
Yeah.
Like, wait, I could do this.
Yeah.
But it was just for the grade.
Right. And that was an assignment.
Right. This was my dissertation for my master's.
Wow.
To become the nurse practitioner that I am today.
Yeah.
And so I filed it in. I got a good grade. Filed it in the back of my head, and it went on about its business. Didn't even remember it.
Right.
Because now, nurse practitioner, I have my nursing home. You know, making. Helping, going to the hospital, making a difference in people's lives. Now I'm beginning to love what I'm doing. It's no longer about the things, because we got the things. The things are behind me. I've proven to myself that I can do this. You can do it. You know, I've proven to mom that by no means I'm going to be that child that you thought I was going to be. Right. Because when you get pregnant at 16, 17, people write you off. They write you off. They don't see you matriculating to anything great in life. So I've proven that despite the odds, that I could beat the odds. And so then I basically, in 2018, I was called by the ER physician to admit a young African-American to the hospital who was in renal failure. And so I'm like, what? He was 24 years old, and he was in renal failure. And I began to say, wait a minute, this isn't right. So I fly up the computer, and I looked at his age, and I'm looking at his numbers, his labs, I'm looking at his blood pressure. He's in hypertensive urgency, and I'm looking at his labs, his renal failure. I'm looking at his creatinine. I'm looking at his GFR. I'm looking at his magnesium, and I'm looking at him, and I'm like, how at 24 years old you have this kind of lab? This isn't right. And so I raced down. I admitted him to the ICU before seeing him, ordered a cardiac drip, and raced down to see what this young man at 24 looks like. And as I got into his room, Cornell, he has a baby mama in the corner and a little girl about 2 or 3 years old, 3 years old, standing in the other corner. And I pull up a chair beside him. He had a smile on his face. He didn't understand the severity of what was happening to him. And I looked at him and I said, do you understand what's happening? He said, yeah, like nonchalant. He said, yeah, something about my blood pressure. And I pull up the chair beside him and I said, who is this young woman in this corner? He said, that's my baby mama, and we ain't together no more. And I said, and who is the young lady? Who's the baby? He says, with a smile, he says, that's my daughter. And I said, would you like to see her go off to preschool, elementary, high school, college, graduate, get married? And he looked at me as if, what are you talking about? I'm going to see all that. But looking at his labs and what he was facing, he couldn't understand. I said to him, do you know what dialysis is? And he said, I think my grandmother did dialysis or something like that. And remember I told you how I walked in the ER room. I never forget ER room 11, and he looked nonchalant, still had a smile on his face, and like this was just a regular day. And I said, your kidneys have failed. And that face that he had just went into
just changed.
It just changed. It just went into gloom, and that was. I wanted him to understand the severity of what was happening. And then the tears just flow at the side of his cheeks. And I took a deep breath, and I remember the mobile clinic that I wrote about in school.
Right at that moment.
Right at that moment.
Oh, man.
And I said, I can't wait until I retire to do that mobile clinic. The time for that mobile clinic is now. And with my voice cracking, my heart cracking, because I just give this young 24-year-old African-American the worst news of his life, that he's in renal failure. He will need dialysis 3 times a week. And prayerfully we could get him a kidney sooner than later. And I told him he didn't have insurance. And I told him I would call the best nephrology in the house for you. And I called Dr. Mark Russo, I never forget, and told him the story, who saw this young man. And I walk out brokenhearted, with my voice cracking. And to the nurse's station, I said, I can't wait for them to buy my mobile clinic. I have to do it now. And everybody know me as a little bit crazy.
Right.
And so when I said that, Dr. Trescala said, Deanie, what are you talking about now? I'm like, I'm going to buy a what? I'm like, a mobile clinic. And then by this time, I divorced my ex-husband. I was dating another person who we all went on. I went home and I talk about that mobile, and we went on eBay and found a mobile clinic.
You did?
I did. Nice big 40-foot mobile clinic in Sacramento, California. And out of my own pocket, I purchased the clinic, bought it off of eBay. And they went and brought it back from Sacramento, California. And it is what is known as today, Premier Mobile Health Services. And so now it's a thriving not-for-profit, saving hundreds of lives.
So stick a pin, because you left my listeners hanging right now.
Okay.
They're like, what happened to this young man?
So he's alive.
He made it?
Yes, he made it. Oh, yes, I took care of him.
Ooh.
Yeah, I did. I took care of him. I met him a year later, and he was happy. He was doing dialysis. He was on the transplant list.
Oh,
I don't know what happened after that. I hope one day he'll come find me.
He'll come find you.
He'll come find me, because it was because of him Premier Mobile Health Services was birthed.
Wow.
So so when you see this big mobile clinic going around and you see Premier Mobile Health Services, it's a journey getting to Premier Mobile.
See, now we know the story.
Yes.
That is amazing. Now, we definitely got to dive into some of the challenges that you had to face, like, stepping out of what you're used to now you having this mobile and functioning at that level and doing what you're doing best.
So initially it was a challenge. Everybody says it was a crazy idea, that I wasn't going to make it. It was, and I've always had to, like I told you, beat the odds. So for me, there were not new words.
Right.
These were words that I was used to.
Right.
So when show me something that I can't do, and I'll show you something that I can do.
You can do, yeah.
Right. So I knocked on many doors, and they had, we don't think this is going to work. I asked for partnership. Everybody says you're too new. And I remember going to the hospital, and when I went to the hospital and knocked at their doors, let us think about it. We'll think about it.
Yeah.
And people look at me, what, mobile clinic?
Yeah. It's too new to them.
Yeah, I don't see this happening now. And I remember on MLK sitting in the mobile clinic, Initially, I started out as a for-profit and charged $50. And when I realized the people couldn't pay the $50, I took it to Immokalee, and I was serving the migrant farm workers, and they would bring me sweet peppers and bell peppers to take care of them. And I love what I do, but I was running out of money because I just the same year I bought another house. I bought my car, and I bought the mobile clinic.
Right.
So
yeah.
I have poured that year. I don't know what I was going through.
Yeah, you poured a lot of bread out.
But I poured a lot of bread out. Yeah. So I was like using all my reserve to sustain the clinic.
Yeah.
And I had to work 3 days a week to try to put back some of what I had used up. And so it was the hardest thing. Mm-hmm. But then the University of Miami was driving by on MLK one day, 3 beautiful women, Martia West, Tivisai, and Venata. They're still a part of Premier Mobile 5 years later. Wow. And they were pulling up, and they saw the big bus sitting in MLK, and they made a...
Yeah, they made a U-turn.
They made a U-turn.
Yeah.
And they came, and they're like, we want to know, what is this? What is this? And then I told them the story. I told them the story about my upbringing.
Right.
I told them the story about Joseph.
Yeah.
The young man with the dialysis and how the mobile car. And they're like, how can we help you?
Wow.
These were strangers. Never met me before. from the university in Miami, and so they made me into into their
you became
practice.
A project.
I became their project.
Wow.
Practice transformation, and so they provide funding for us to do HIV testing, and I'm still a part of Martial University in Miami. I love you. So they took me under their wings. They fell in love with the concept. They fell in love with the model. They fell in love with my story. Most importantly, they fell in love with me and what I was doing.
Yeah.
They still my biggest supporter. I love them to date. I couldn't be where I am today if they did not realize the service that I was providing and the goodness that could come from this mobile clinic.
Right.
And so when they took me on, I started Vanderbilt then took me on.
Yeah.
So we went to Tennessee to Vanderbilt. So Vanderbilt took me on. University of Miami took me on. I went to the Mobile Clinic Association.
Wow.
And so the funny story is when I went in 2018 after buying the mobile clinic, I met a guy online. He was Jamaican from Project Hope, Uriah.
Okay.
And just by him answering the phone, I realized he was Jamaican. And he was such an amazing guy. Still my friend today. He flew down and gave me, because he was the driver, the coordinator for Project Hope. That was the clinic. And he gave me all the paperwork and everything I needed. He's still my friend. He's an amazing human being.
Yeah.
So I have been blessed, Cornell, to have amazing people in my life to help me transition to the stages to where I'm at today. So I can't just take all the credit for myself because yes, I had the vision, I have the idea, but I've had some amazing people who contributed to the success of who I am. So when I went to the Mobile Clinic Association, I remember I was there and everybody was what mobile clinic was purchased to a university or a hospital. Right. And when they asked how many people purchased their own mobile clinic, no one held their hand up.
You didn't want to hold your hand up?
I didn't want to hold my hand up. Because I felt now like, what do you mean? No one has ever, it's always through a university or some big conglomerate or some big organization. Yeah. What do you mean? Nobody has ever bought their own mobile clinic and started a mobile clinic.
Yeah. Did you slowly start?
No, they called me out and I had to stood up. And I remember this little lady came over and hold my cheek and she said, oh my God, God bless your heart, you sweet little thing. Yeah. But you're going about it the wrong way. You can't do not-for-profit. You have to do for-profit. Right. And then I dissolved the for-profit concept, make it a not-for-profit, and came back home to my town. Yeah. And then COVID hit. Yeah. And we were doing like 300 COVID tests a day. And unfortunately, with the lockdown, we were open. So a lot of people were coming up to us for care. You know, if you look at our website and to our page, you could see like hundreds of people line up to get COVID tests. We were providing free COVID tests and we blew up from there. Our name make it till you have people calling me from around the world asking me how I do it. Yeah. You know, willing to pay consultation fee for me to tell them how I started it. Right. So today now our mayor here is now the chairman of our board. He's serving our board. Nice. The hospital has joined forces with me. Has given us over $600,000. The United Way through ARPA grant has given us over $400,000. Okay. And other foundations have given us so much. So I took an idea from
you did that
nothing and make it into something.
Oh my goodness.
Helping thousands of people. Providing free care. So we charge a minimal fee for the people. We're moving to free, and because we have to now divide it into two organizations. Right. We're removing the insurance and the patients over here, and we're just now slowly going to focus on the not-for-profit as being that, a free and charitable clinic where we take care of the people. When I tell people, I was once undocumented. I was once homeless. I went through all of it. Right. So when I talk to my patients who are encountering the experiences that I have lived, they understand where I'm coming from, that this is not about me anymore.
Yeah.
This is about my purpose. This is about the legacy. This is about a dash. This is about leaving something good behind for generations and generations to come.
So right there, stick a pin. In the midst of all this going on, what was the first sit down finally look like with you and your mom?
So Mom literally came and we had our own little issues and
cried it out,
and you know, we both forgive each other because she has her own story. We all have our stories.
Yeah.
None of us are perfect,
right?
right?
Yeah.
How you see things may not be how I see things, right?
Yeah.
And sometimes we say things, but it's not really. You take it different from how we meant it. How
it's presented, the perception of it.
Right. How things are perceived is not necessarily what happened.
Right.
And so we talk about it today. My mom is a beautiful soul. We have a beautiful relationship. But I thank God for her because you know what? If it wasn't she being that hard, tough mom,
you wouldn't be this solid.
I wouldn't be who I am today.
Yeah.
So her toughness has created the person I am today. So for that, I am truly grateful.
That is beautiful. And not to tell all you moms to go do that now.
Yeah, no. I'm different with my children.
Don't do that. Not everybody come out this solid. So this is beautiful. A whole lot of grace been on you and all these are the beautiful things. So with what you had going on there and 3 kids, what was the balancing that look like?
To be honest with you, I don't know about balance because it was very hard.
Okay.
I had to leave my daughter early in the morning, late at night.
Yeah.
I had nannies and housekeepers and all that stuff because remember I told you life got good. So my children didn't see my children. My daughter didn't see much of me because I was too busy trying to make ends meet.
Yeah.
So I think I still pay dearly for that. But for my 2 sons, they have my daughter's a registered nurse and is very successful. But my 2 sons now have me. They have me. I'm able to. I try to give my daughter everything I didn't have, which was a mistake.
Oh, okay.
Yeah.
Because you can't buy a lot of
poor
that stuff.
patients.
Yeah.
Poor parents.
Yeah.
Make great kids.
Yes.
Wealthy kids.
Yeah.
Wealthy kids make broken children.
Yeah.
Whether you believe, I believe that.
Yeah.
Because we're so busy giving them material things because you think you didn't have that.
Right.
And because you think you didn't have that, you want to give them the best of what you didn't have.
Yeah.
But then you raise children who feel a sense of entitlement.
Yeah.
And who feel a sense of you must.
Right.
So with my sons, I've taken a different approach.
Right.
They have to earn whatever I'm giving them. So thank God for having 3.
Yeah.
Yeah. I have a redo on life.
Okay. You did some restructuring.
I did some restructuring.
This is good. And now with the relationship with your husband, because I see he really helps you in a lot of what you're doing right now. So, not to say like, and females be like, how did she make that happen? What would you say? You know what? Let's put it there. What would you say to those ladies? Be like, how did you even make that happen where you get your other half to be helping you, making a lot of your dreams more stronger and more successful?
I don't know. My husband. So, like I said, I divorced. I met my husband 3 years ago.
Yeah.
And he's Jamaican.
Yes.
Right? I don't want another Jamaican man. Y'all know what you do. So I had to cross against Jamaican men. I said, when I met, I'm being honest. I'm being honest. I was like, any other race except
the yard one, though.
Except the Jamaican. Any other race.
We got a terrible reputation.
And so when I met my husband, I was like, me, no, ain't happening. No, not happening. Not happening. And I was busy. I wasn't even looking for anybody. I was minding. It was COVID. I was building my practice. I was building my clinic.
Yeah.
I was focusing on me and my children. You know, like I said, I've been through the rups. I've been through a lot, and I just wanted to embrace my boys, embrace life, find me. Right. I've been busy working, building, and COVID was a shutdown. I wanted to focus on me and my children. Out of nowhere, this man pop up.
Yeah.
And I'm like, not me. He's not for me. Next thing I know,
work the charm.
He did.
Yeah.
And he still does.
Yeah.
He was a typical Jamaican guy.
Yeah.
He said he was willing to change.
Yeah.
He didn't hide who he was.
Yeah.
You know, he has several children. He had several women.
Yeah.
And he was so honest up front, like brutally honest to the point that if I was to regurgitate some of what he said, people would say I'm a jackass.
What is wrong with you?
You know? And so, and not that I would mind, but my husband today, he, for one, has helped to make my clinic what it is right now.
It's amazing.
He gave up his job at the airport and he moved over. 6 months after meeting, we got married.
Yeah.
And he came over, and before you know it, he built out a brick and mortar practice for me. He's so good with his hands.
Yeah.
And next thing you know, he was driving the mobile for me, bringing the mobile to its destination so I could provide the care. And the next thing you knew it, the contracts were just coming, and they were just coming till now. He has his own company doing amazingly well.
Wow.
His children, we moved in with my children. We now have a blended family.
Yeah.
We have games night. We have nights where we paint. We have, some days he's cooking, some days I'm cooking, some days the children are cooking.
Sure.
I mean, it's laughter.
Yeah.
We've never had a disagreement.
That's good.
I have never had to call his phone and not know where he is. He's always saying, baby, I'm going to do this or I'm going to do that.
Yeah.
Some days, despite who I am and the accolades and who I help him with his business. I'll go in the hospital with him on his transportation business and help him get his patient on the stretcher and help him maneuver and get out. And, and together we have become a dynamite couple. Yes.
We got to do the big ups. Big ups, big up, big up. I like that because I think a lot of people don't understand. Sometimes when a guy is brutally honest with you, you should really take that serious. And you did. So I like that. I like that. I feel like a lot of women don't like when a guy is honest.
No, he was brutally honest. And I was... today I considered but you know what? In all fairness... I had gone and prayed for a husband without a specification.
Yes.
And I didn't say, God, even though at the time I was dating men of different race, I'd stopped that for a while. And like I said, working on me. Yeah. I didn't say, God, give me this guy that was black, blue, brown, or gray.
Who wasn't specific.
Right. I really wanted somebody who was okay in life, that if something happened to me could hold the fort down.
Right.
But that wasn't the case. But God knew who I needed and not what I wanted.
And he gave you.
And so he gave me who I needed. And the minute my husband came into my life, I knew he was the one. Yeah. And he knew I was the one. Amazing. And the next thing you knew, we were doing so amazing together. Our chemistry is unbelievable. It's been 3 years and we still talk for hours and laugh like silly kids at home.
That is
like he has jokes. Despite being together for 3 years, he still managed to find several jokes for me to laugh all day.
That's how you got to do it. That is how you got to do it. So for single mom out there, And, the guys, they'll take this and tailor this to what that could look like for them. But what would your message be that they feel there's so much against them that it's not possible?
I will tell we strong women who want to be the male and be this alpha person, don't let social media define who you are or who you should talk to.
Yes.
Right? Because what worked for one person may not work for you, but you have to feel it here.
Right.
And not because I know people are going to say that what worked for you won't work for everybody else. I know that.
Right.
But a lot of us miss opportunities.
Yes.
We miss opportunities and good opportunities because if I'd said that my husband did not meet the specifications that I was looking for in a man, I would have lost out on a very good man and an amazing husband and an amazing father. Right. He has come into my life and my boys are doing way better than they were doing before.
Right.
He is such a role model to them. And I will tell women, like, I see women saying, if a guy take me on this kind of date, I wouldn't go. Well, it was lockdown. Yeah. It was COVID.
Yeah.
I didn't even have a date. Our first date was in my kitchen with some ackee and saltfish and some white rice.
Look at that right there. Look at that.
You understand? And so find your mate.
Yeah.
And I became, as much I was the entrepreneur, the alpha female, I became submissive.
Yeah.
I listened to him. And we talk about things. And I don't let people a lot of my friends says I was dumb. I didn't know what I was doing. And quite frankly, I disconnected from them.
Yeah.
Because my heart knew what it wanted.
Right.
And I wasn't going to let a friend or any family dictate to me.
Right.
And so you got to find your person.
Yeah.
And pray and ask God to send you the right person.
Yeah.
Don't look at the criteria that social media have us buying. You got to take us to Ruth Chris. You got to buy you this or that. You know what? There are good guys out there. If they find the right woman and vice versa, good men out there that if they find the right female, how much that they can conquer together.
It's amazing.
It's amazing.
Yes.
So don't let social media define your partner.
You hear that, people? Do not let social media define your decisions. So with that, for everyone that's listening, how can they find the business? How can they find you? How can they get in contact with you?
So, of course, for Premier Mobile, you could always go to www.premier, and that's without the E, premiermobilehealth.org, and find us online. And our clinic location is 10676 Colonial Boulevard, Suite 20, Fort Myers, 33913, with our phone number 239-288-7949. We're now 3 mobile and a brick and mortar.
Yes.
From the 1 mobile we bought off of eBay, we're now 3 mobile and a brick and mortar looking to advance our mission.
That's amazing. And they can find you on IG too, isn't it?
Right, Premier Mobile Clinic.
Yes. And you'll see photos of me on there, people. I'm just saying. We run into the same space every now and then. This has been beautiful.
Oh, thank you.
You created a story with me today.
Oh, thank you.
So with that being said, for everyone, you guys, you heard it here. We have created a story. Deanie, I want to thank you.
Oh.
You are amazing.
Oh, thank you.
You are a true rock star, a decorative individual that is making major moves and is continuing to make major moves.
Oh, I appreciate you.
Yes, and I am so proud of you. So guys, there you have it. Another story has been created right here at EAS Club. Until our next episode, where we have another decorative individual, stay tuned.
Thanks for tuning in and downloading this episode of Stories to Create. We appreciate you being part of this growing community of storytellers and listeners. If today's conversation inspired you, please share the show with friends, family, or anyone who could use a little motivation in their journey. A special thank you to our sponsors, EHAS Organization, Cornell Bunting LLC, and Nostril Cheese Chase for supporting the mission and making this podcast possible. To learn more about our work, upcoming projects, and how you can get involved, be sure to visit www.hissingorg and www.cornellbunting.com. Until next time, keep creating, keep growing, and remember, your story has power.